it's Tiffany with HistoricIndianapolis.com, and today we have a very special guest. We are meeting with May Wright Sewall at the Propylaeum, which you started.
That's right, in 1888.
1888. Now, we would love to know a little more about the history of your organization, the Propylaeum. What was it about? Why was it started?
Well, I had been speaking up in Madison, Wisconsin at a conference, and those women had built a clubhouse for themselves, a very nice building. And I came back and wanted to have something in Indianapolis that our women could do. And so gathered some women from the Indianapolis Women's Club on North Street and Meridian, a building that was wonderful with above ground basement with offices and a kitchen, and the meeting rooms on the second floor, and then the top floor was a huge meeting room for between 600 and 800.
Oh my goodness.
And it was truly the cultural center of Indianapolis. But that location, you see, became something that the state wanted when they wanted to expand the World War Memorial. And so we had to move from there. And they demolished it and expanded the World War Memorial.
And that is how we arrived in the 1400 block of Delaware
That's
Street.
right.
So what was in this house before the Propylaeum came here?
Well, several things. First of all, it was built by John Schmidt, who was a second-generation German brewer. And he and his family lived here for a number of years, and from here moved down to 13th in Delaware to another mansion. George McCullough owned it briefly. He was the founder of the Indianapolis Star, but we don't believe that they actually moved in because Mrs. McCullough died shortly after the title transferred. So then Mr. McCullough sold it to Joseph Schaff, and Mr. Schaff was a second-generation German brewer. So they lived here until 1921, at which point they sold it to one of the small music schools with Indiana in the title that merged to become Arthur Jordan School of Music. And then so it was on the market in 1923 when we needed to find a home for the club, and that's when we took over. But you see, we don't have any of the original family furniture because we bought it from an organization.
I see.
So some of your museums have, like the Harrison home, and others have many things that belong to the family, but we don't have any of that. But we have tried to make up for it with the things we've acquired
Right.
and have bought and so forth.
Wonderful. And you were instrumental in getting what is now the IMA, but formerly the Art Association of Indiana as well.
Yes, had the pleasure of working with that, and we had the opportunity, we had some money given to us, and we're able to, John Herron left the money, and we were able to really expand how it was used. And it was I understand we were the first art school in connection with an art museum. That those combination was not there originally, and that was part of that one. So everything that we had the opportunity to do, this was a marvelous community in which to work.
You were quite a swashbuckler, Ms. Sewall. So tell us a little more about this house. We're going to obviously be looking at visuals of that. So tell us more about what the highlights of the house are to you.
Well, of course, it was one of the main places in town as far as for social activities. Both families who really lived here had used it extensively that way. We like the way it's arranged because we have been able to combine two rooms, and now we call it the club room for the Propylaeum now, but those had been separate rooms. Well, you know, your parlor and your music room, and of course in our what we call the tea room today, we have our pride and joy is our Rookwood pottery fireplace.
It is beautiful.
And it's signed, and that's really very special to have that. But Mrs. Gates had her dancing school on the 3rd floor for many years, from the 30s to the 60s. And many of us thought, because that was after my time, but we thought that it was just for the junior high and senior high social type thing in ballroom dancing, and found out by comparison recently that they used to have all types of other dancing that they taught to the girls before that they were to the junior high level. We even have members who have taken dancing here when they were 9 or 10 years old.
And did I hear correctly that on the second floor you actually have the furniture from the which hotel where?
Well, it's been moved to the third floor.
Oh, it's on the third floor. Okay.
Because the caterer's office is in that room.
Ah, okay.
Yes, many people have read, if they've been around here long, that during World War II, in 1942 in fact, Carol Lombard was here for a bond drive, and we were in a position a few years ago to buy the furniture from her suite. And of course what that means today that you can get through to the young people is she was married to Clark Gable when she was killed, and the last night she spent on earth was in Indianapolis, and we have the furniture from that suite.
Wow. Well, we are going to take a look around.
Okay.
We really thank you. And in reality, this has been Jan Walls, who's a member of the Propylaeum, and she was gracious enough to impersonate May Wright Sewall. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you
really
for having
appreciate
me.
it.
Appreciate sharing it.